Okay, so for Iron Fist, we're gonna put a border here so we don't bleed past the top. Divide the page completely in half until it goes off the bottom of the page. Okay. Once you've got neck established, you can go ahead and put your oval shape in for the size of his head. Now, after you've gotten that shape, you can use this as a guide to create where his chest and waist is going to be. So to move down once, mark that for his chest, move down again, and this is going to be for his waist. All right. Now, for Iron Fist, just up underneath here, we're going to put an oval shape in for his neck. Then you're going to follow this shape for his torso. And come off the bottom of the page, just like this. Now that you have that established, this is Iron Fist, so he's going to be kind of at an angle, not too much different than I normally draw the characters where they're fully frontal. So we're just going to take a line like this. And then we could do it that way. So you take a line underneath this oval shape, come over. And you want to put an oval over here, or a circle rather. And you want to put an oval over here. And notice when I use my pencil, it's not straight. Usually it's like this in the middle of the page, but this time it's like this. So this is how you can tell whether you want the angle to be right, because he's going to be putting his fist up. So this is a different type of pose. All right, so after you put the circle here, put a circle in the center and just let this arm go off the page. Elbow here, and the way you can measure that, you could use where his chest is. Elbow comes about there. The rest of our arm goes off the page. Now for his right arm, because he's going to be throwing a punch, this arm is not going to be complicated at all. It's simply going to be a circle here, and then there's going to be a line here. We're not going to see much of this though. Then you want to put a huge oval shape here. Now, once you have the oval shape here, you want to actually make a box that's about this size. Follow exactly the way I'm doing it, because his fist is going to be coming closer to you. So his fist is going to be coming closer to you, just like this. So if you notice I have a huge box shape here, his shoulder is going to be smaller. Now, you want to have his waist, of course, go off the page, just like this. Take two lines and go right off the page. Now, if you've drawn up to this point with me, you have the skeletal structure of Iron Fist. Now, I'm going to go ahead and move up to his head. So I'm going to zoom in, and with his head, you're simply going to put a line here. Now for his eyes, it's kind of like as if you're drawing almost like a Batman mask or a Spider-Man. So you want to put a line on an angle like this and another line on an angle like this. And put the lines that I usually put in for the temple line, as I call it, for the sides of the head, so you know how far the eyes need to go to the edge of the head. And we're going to put the shape of his eyes in. So you want to put a line there. I'm going to switch my pencil out because the number 2 pencil is a bit too thick for me right now. I'm going to come up like this, and we're going to go around just like this and come under. This is pretty much a shape, kind of like, oh, it reminds me of Spider-Man. You can do it that way if it helps you think about what shape is going on here. You want to come down like this. Okay. Now that you have that established, in between here, Iron Fist has lines that go in between here, so it's not completely dark. And then off of this, you want to create his frown, just like that. Do the same thing for his left eye. And now, it's a very simplistic mask here, so you want to have a line that comes straight down like this. And we're going to put his nose line in lightly. And then a mouth line. His mouth is real close to the nose. So right underneath this here, we're going to go ahead and go on a diagonal. Come down. And then come up the other side like this. Off the side of his head. And then off of here, we're going to come up to the top and do the outside of his head, which is past the temple line here. And where the eyes and nose line is, we'll put his ear, indicate the ear, because he's wearing a mask. Do the same thing for the opposite side. Come in a little bit, and we're going to close the top of his head just like this. Now for the bottom portion of his mask, his bottom part of his mouth and face is completely exposed. So we're going to put his jawline in here, come down to the center, and do the same thing for the left side. I usually like to have a little line coming like this for his chin. Close that off like that. And if you want, you can put the bottom of the earlobe in, just for realism. Now for his mouth, I call this the Batman Scowl. So you can kind of put a mouth in like this. He looks focused and driven. Close the corners of his mouth off. Real simple, nothing spectacular. Go up under his lip and put another line for the bottom of his lip. And usually I put an N shape for an indication of his chin. Now, I usually like to put jawline indications here and then put it here. Now, he also has kind of like the Ninja Turtles where he ties the back of his mask in. We'll go ahead and do that right now because it is a portion of his head. So you want to, and I'll zoom out here. You want to take and have a ribbon that comes over, down. It's like a hill, over, down, and then up again, and go to the edge of the page as far as you can. Repeat that same line, come over, down, up, and then widen this a little bit because sometimes the fabric of the bandana, it kind of blows in the wind and does what it wants. You want to come underneath that and do the opposite. Come down, under. Repeat that same shape, come down, under. Draw through this as lightly as you can and go up to the top of the page and close it. Okay, now we are ready to move to the rest of his body. So I'm going to start with, he actually has a collar that comes up almost past his head. This is kind of unique. I like this version of Iron Fist because it's very, very different, almost like Doctor Strange. So I'm going to take this line and come over the shoulder and go all the way down. This actually goes down to his waist, so we're going to stop right where I had the markings here earlier. Come on the other side and repeat the same shape. Come over a little bit and do the same thing and just have this as guides later. And remember, at this stage of the game, you're lightly putting in everything with pencil. Nothing is etched in stone yet, so no reason to be concerned about terrible mistakes and things like that. So come off the edge of his the line in between his ear and his jaw and close this off like this. Stop it right about where his chest is. Do the same thing. It's going to come around the back of his neck and his ear and come down like this. Now from here, I'm going to work on his chest. I'm going to come up and bring a curve right where you see I have my pencil doing here. You're going to go under this, repeat this line, and then stop at the shoulder right here. Complete this chest and go around. Come under, stop. Right where this line is we have for his collar. This is helping us kind of put everything in perspective. Come up under here, follow this all the way up to where this circle is for his shoulder blade. You'll have a line that comes in like this. This is a muscle that connects pectoral and the shoulder. Okay, now for the other side of his chest muscle, you want to put a little curve or a dip here and put a long line like that. As you see here, I have this indication here for the shoulder. You want to come and bring a line in like this, come down and bring that chest around like that. Close it. As you see here, we're starting to work the top portion of his body in. So we're going to come back up to his neck, go down to his shoulders here. Some muscle that comes in like this, angle that around and then like this. We're going to do the other side of his chest muscle, come in, go up and then dip down to complete that. And a line that comes in like this. Now at this point, we're going to work on his torso area. Right up underneath his chest, you want to come around like this. And then go down to his waist. On this side, this is going to be his wingspan. So I'm going to move over and shift. And I'm going to put the right top of his shoulder in, or left side. Bring the rest of his shoulder around. We're going to complete this and then put his shoulder in. Go around this here, where my finger is, and then stop it right about there. So follow this shape around. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put his abs in. And for his abs, let's go ahead and we have a line that comes in like this. Right to the edge of this here. Then there's an M shape that goes to the center line. If you notice I have a center line here, that's going to come around, go under, and back around again. You'll get used to the M shape the more and more you see my videos, because this is pretty much what I refer to as an M shape. Now we'll move down underneath that, and this is the next part of the abs, which is like a wide stretched out W shape. And the rest of the abs are usually this completed shape here, and like that. Put another row in, and this row I usually say is where the navel or the belly button goes. So we'll go ahead and put a little indication of a navel or belly button. Then in between these two, we usually have another one that comes in like this. This kind of shapes with the rib cage here, where that goes around like that. Do the same thing on this side. Now, what you want to do is at this point, since we're already down here, I'll stay over here. We'll close this off because he has a band that goes around on his waist. Bring it out to the other side and then close it off. Come around, and because his waist is tied off, kind of like a gi belt. It's kind of like a martial arts belt. Like, so let's say if he was a yellow belt, I know that's low rank, and I know that Iron Fist is not a yellow belt, but for the sake of martial arts, this is kind of what he's wearing around his waist. So let's go ahead and get that done. And take that off the edge of the page. Just like that. Lightly sketch that in. So that's done. Then he has a few lines that come in like this. Because we know how fabric behaves. It's never perfect and it has usually wrinkle lines in it and flexion folds and stuff like that. So you just put a little indication of fabric lines in here. Now we're going to close off his rib cage by coming in and coming around to his waist like this. And having this oblique line coming in. Stop it right there. Now we're going to work on his left arm. His left arm is simply his bicep is going to be stretched out like this because he's kind of in this martial arts pose. Come to where I had this circle drawn for his elbow. Stop there. Then come to the outside and put his tricep in. That's going to come into the arm like this. Come down. Then there's a piece that comes around like this. Over. And then stop. For the front part is really simple. We just want to take a line that overlaps this and then curve it and put a line straight off the page. We're going to do the back side of his arm and elbow. It's the line that comes out of this piece, which is the tricep muscle, where my finger is. Come straight down where this piece is. The elbow's right behind this muscle. So we're going to have that come in and then take the rest of the arm off the page. Then put it in between lines like this, and that arm is pretty much done. We'll have another line come in like this as a muscle that extends from here to here to wrap around. Now for the shoulder, we can have a line that comes in the center like this. Some 3 parts of the shoulder muscles. And have a line that comes up like this for the pectorals. Because he's reaching to extend his arm out this way, we just want to flex that muscle there. And then for Iron Fist, you just close this part off right here because his sleeve stops here. This arm is completely done. Now let's move back over to the right side. And the final side, we'll start with his fist. His fist is the focal point. So the way I want to do this exercise, I'll zoom in on this fist. So usually whenever you're drawing hands or fists, I like to zoom in so you can get understanding. Middle knuckle, circle right here. The ring finger right here. And then you have the index finger here and the pinky here. All right, so with these 4, we're going to kind of come down to where this is. So let's go on the outside of the ring finger and then bring this line over, curve it, and then you go under like this. The middle knuckle, have a line that curves in like this. Come down to this line, meet it, stop. Ring finger, come over, down, and stop. These shapes repeat themselves in the descending order. Because the pinky is the smallest, it's way down here, and then you want to bring it over and stop. Now, the top part of the knuckles behaves where it comes up over, like the middle knuckle is the biggest, so you're going to close this off like this and meet this. The ring finger is going to come out of that and around, just like this. Then you have the index finger and then the pinky. And this is going to come around, this is like the knife part of the hand, and the pinky just comes under like this. And let that be rounded because it's the smallest. Now with the thumb is simply going to come under this knuckle. I'll show you my finger is going to come out of the side, bring a line straight out like this. This knuckle wraps around like this, and then it's going to come under these two fingers, which is the index and middle finger. You know, wrap this thumb around like this, bring it back up, close it off. Now bring this line here, and then close the top part of the shoulder here. Alright, now for the next part, because Iron Fist has like mystical powers and things with his fist with fire all around it, the fire is going to cover up the portion of the bicep and the rest of the arm. So you don't really need to be concerned with the rest of the arm, but the fist actually shows through it. So what I'm going to do is we're going to draw shapes that kind of arcs and goes in. If you want to follow this, it'll be real simple abstract shapes. So you know, there's no rule of the thumb here. So for this part of the video or tutorial, you can feel free to just do what you want, and just as long as it has kind of like a smoke or fire mist coming out of his hand, and it covers up the rest of his arm. So the rest of his arm is not important, just to let you know that. And bring it up, and if you want to take it all the way to the top of the page, you can do that too. Feel free to do what you want at this point. And you can infer the rest of his arm by putting a simple oval shape right behind this knuckle here, but you're not going to see it. All right. And then of course extend the part of the bicep muscle just right in under the fire and smoke and everything. So if you're drawn up to this point with me, I'm going to move back into the center, and he does have a tattoo on his chest. So we're going to put that in. Now for the tattoo on his chest is almost like a Batman symbol. So we just simply come up with an arc like this, comes over, go back down, and I believe it's a dragon. As you look into it, and let me know if you want to leave it in the comment section of what's actually on Iron Fist's chest. If you're an expert, let me know. Bring this around like this and kind of back down. You want to come up a little bit, notice that's a point. Come around like this. It's really an abstract dragon. It doesn't have to really look like a dragon, but you bring this point up and then follow this back around, lightly put it in, and then this repeats this side. So what happens is there's an arc that comes in and up and over like that, and you can just have that come behind what he's wearing and then stop. Now the bottom portion of it, he has a tail, so we're going to come in like this, arc it, and then we're going to follow this tail that swoops down. So coming in with the center line, come down, and then you can follow it this way. You can come up in the circle and around again and come down to where his navel is, or his belly button, just to clarify. And have this line come in like this and then go up again, just like that. And repeat this shape. Stop it here, bring it back around, and flesh that shape out like that. Now, if you've drawn them to me, if you've drawn up with me at this point in this exercise and tutorial, you just completely drawn Iron Fist. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to time lapse. I'm going to shade certain parts in, and I'm going to get rid of these circles here with the eraser, make it look real nice and clean. And if you want, at the end of the exercise and tutorial, you can pause it and take a look at it at your leisure. Those who follow this channel, please help me get 50 likes and 10 comments on these how to draw videos. Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe by clicking this round button at the bottom. Also, click one of the two videos at the top. Please like this video, tell a friend, and share it on Facebook. Thank you.
The Art Hitman.